So you don't think it's necessary or it's important for anybody to raise an issue that, well, I'm seeing a number of names, people I knew as social media commentators or people I saw as commentators for the NPP, some way, somehow find their names. We see some of Brian Boabeng, for instance. We used to know him to comment on certain key issues. There are others, several others. And some way, somehow, they are just there. Well, we don't necessarily know the exact thing they do and how they are helping government achieve the several promises, for instance, you made to us some years ago.
The president, for example, appointed a director of research. That position was one of the very first positions that the president announced. If you remember, chief of staff, director of operations, director of research.
Research is critical.
And then some of his aides. Yeah. So have you found out the people who, you think Mr. Victor Newman is the only person who does all the research that informs government policy and tracks government records and policies and so on? It cannot be Mr. Victor Newman alone. So you should know that even inside the Jubilee House, there will be people who would constitute the research secretariat, for example. There will be people who would be in the office of the director of operations, for example, and so on and so forth. So if Samuel Brian Boabeng or whoever was an MPP activist has been given a piece of job to do in the Jubilee House.
Bunty Benjamin and the like?
Yes, of course. They are Ghanaians. I'm also a social media commentator. I have a social media account. In fact, I have accounts across all the entire social media. So to that extent, I'm also a social media commentator. But I am minister. Why? I don't qualify to be minister merely because I'm on Facebook.
What do these people bring to the table?
But you just said that they were activists and that they were engaged in the MPP's process, electioneering process. You said that.
So they are propagandists?
That is value. They are not propagandists.
What do they do?
They do a lot of research.
What do they do? So they do research?
Yes, they do research.
What kind of research?
Research that informs government policy. That's what everything that Mr. Victor Newman does. They assist him in doing them.